Cheese: how milk became a gourmet delight. The history of cheese dates back over 7,000 years, making it one of the oldest foods known to humanity. Its origin likely began as an accidental discovery by early peoples who stored milk in containers made from animal stomachs. These containers, rich in enzymes like rennet, would cause the milk to curdle into curds and whey. This early cheese, though sour and simple, was edible and became a foundation for more complex cheesemaking. Archaeological evidence suggests that cheesemaking began around 600 BC in regions like Mesopotamia, where dairy farming first flourished. In these early civilizations, methods to preserve milk were developed, leading to the creation of rudimentary cheeses. The Sumerians, who lived in the area that is now Iraq, are believed to be among the earliest cheesemakers. In ancient Egypt, cheese held symbolic and nutritional value, often placed in the tombs of pharaohs as sustenance for the afterlife. Cheese became important not only for survival, but also for cultural and social reasons in ancient Greece and Rome. In Greece, cheese was widely consumed by athletes, who saw it as a source of strength. It played an essential role in religious rituals and feasts, evolving from a mere necessity to a culinary delicacy. The Greeks perfected the art of cheesemaking, creating varieties ranging from fresh, soft cheeses to robust aged versions. One of the earliest literary references to cheese can be found in Homer's The Odyssey, where the Cyclops Polyphemus is depicted making cheese from sheep's and goat's milk in his cave. This scene reflects how deeply embedded cheese was in Greek culture, where it was seen as both a staple food and a food of the gods. As the Roman Empire expanded, so did their cheesemaking traditions. The Romans built on the Greek methods, refining their cheesemaking techniques and producing a wider range of cheeses. Roman cheesemakers, known as caesarii, played a key role in crafting cheeses for the empire's elite. Cheese also became a staple in Roman military rations, carried by soldiers to the farthest reaches of the empire, including Gaul, Britannia, and Spain. The Romans were known for their diversity of cheese types, including soft, fresh cheeses and harder, aged varieties that were smoked or flavored. By the peak of the Roman Empire, cheese had evolved into a food of sophistication, gracing the tables of the wealthy at banquets and social gatherings. With the fall of the Roman Empire, the art of cheesemaking was preserved in the monasteries of medieval Europe. Monks, particularly in regions like France, Switzerland, and Italy, became some of the most skilled cheesemakers, experimenting with aging and flavoring techniques. Many of the traditional cheeses we recognize today have their roots in these monasteries, where recipes were honed over centuries. During the Middle Ages, cheese production spread throughout rural Europe. People in farming communities began developing new varieties, relying on milk from cows, goats, and sheep. This period also saw the emergence of distinct regional cheeses. French monasteries became famous for soft cheeses like Brie, while Italy developed hard cheeses like Parmesan. These cheeses were influenced by local climates, geography, and available milk, creating unique flavors and textures. As cheese-making methods improved, cheese also became a valuable trade commodity. Cheese markets sprang up across Europe, facilitating the sale and exchange of local varieties. The proliferation of regional cheeses during the Middle Ages laid the foundation for the diversity of cheese we see today. The Renaissance brought a renewed interest in the arts, sciences, and cuisine, including cheesemaking. During this period, cheesemakers across Europe began focusing on refining their techniques and perfecting traditional recipes. Cheesemaking became a regional pride, with villages and towns producing their own distinct varieties, often shaped by local ingredients and environments. In Italy, cheesemakers in Parma developed Parmigiano Reggiano, known as the king of cheeses for its rich, nutty flavor. France's Loire Valley became renowned for its goat cheeses, and Normandy developed soft, creamy cheeses like Camembert. The Dutch, in the Netherlands, became famous for their Gouda and Edam cheeses, which were shaped by the country's geography and traditions. The Industrial Revolution in the 19th century dramatically changed cheesemaking. What had once been a rural craft was transformed into a large-scale industry. Mechanized production allowed cheese to be made in much larger quantities, with more consistent flavor and texture. The advent of pasteurization, introduced by Louis Pasteur, helped to improve food safety by killing harmful bacteria in milk, allowing cheese to be produced and stored more safely. Refrigeration further revolutionized the cheese industry by enabling cheese to be transported and stored over long distances. This allowed cheese to be sold in far-off markets, turning it into a global commodity. During this time, cheddar cheese, which originated in England, became one of the most mass-produced cheeses in the world. American cheesemakers also began to experiment with processed cheese, which was cheaper to produce and had a longer shelf life. One notable invention was Velveeta, a processed cheese developed in the early 20th century. However, industrialization raised concerns about the decline of traditional, artisanal methods. In response, European countries established systems to protect the authenticity of their regional cheeses. For example, France's Appellation d'Origine Controller, AOC, ensures that cheeses like Roquefort and Camembert are produced according to traditional methods and in specific regions. Today, cheese production and consumption have become global phenomena. Thousands of cheese varieties are made worldwide, ranging from mass-produced products to artisanal creations. In recent decades, there has been a resurgence of interest in traditional cheesemaking techniques. Artisanal cheesemakers, particularly in countries like the United States and Australia, have revived old methods while introducing new, innovative varieties. Once minor players, these countries now produce award-winning cheeses that compete with the best from Europe. Cheese has a long and rich history that spans thousands of years. From its accidental discovery in ancient times to its modern status as a global food, cheese has evolved alongside human civilization. It has been shaped by cultural practices, regional traditions, and technological innovations. Its journey reflects the evolution of food, culture, and society itself, ensuring its place as a staple on tables across the globe for generations to come.